Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first strength and conditioning workout brought to you by Para Rowing Foundation. If you're not familiar with PRF, the foundation exists to give access to our para athletes for resources on and off the water to give them better opportunities to compete in the rowing world. So I am joined here by one of our awesome athletes, Catherine Valdez, and we will be going through a little workout here. Before we start, this is going to be primarily on the mat, so make sure you have a mat accessible. Small hand weights and bands are recommended. I do not have my small hand weights, so I have lovely jars of peanuts, so feel free to use cans, water bottles, or just your body weight will be absolutely fine as well. All right, before we get started, we're gonna do a little shoulder warm up. Even just the transfer from the chair to the ground is work for your body. So I highly recommend doing a little warm up before you do that. So all we're gonna start off with is a little scapular movement, all right? So before we make our way to the floor, go ahead and first elevate your shoulders. So just reach them up to your ears, and then on an exhale, depress your shoulders. So we're moving them in a vertical plane here, and let's go again. We elevate, pull the shoulders up towards the ears, and then we depress. You're moving them down and squeezing your armpit towards your hip bone. Let's do 3 more. So your shoulder blades are so important to stabilizing the core, especially for my PR1 athletes. So as you go through this warm-up, think about where the shoulder blades are actually situated on your back. And we want to be in a neutral position for most of the time, maybe leaning a little bit more towards depression so that you do have that access to your serratus muscles, kind of those saw-looking muscles underneath your armpit, as well as your lats. All right, come back to a neutral position. Again, maybe just a little bit depressed, so you're thinking about that space between your shoulder and the ear. And for this next one, I like to put my arms out in front of me just to give myself a little bit more of a lever to work with. And we're going to retract and protract. So to retract, and I'm just going to spin so you can see my shoulder blades a little here. So to retract, pull your shoulder blades together behind you. And then to protract, picture the shoulder blades sliding not only apart, but kind of down underneath your ribs. So you're reaching those fingertips away and the shoulder blades slide out and around. And now let's retract. Pull the shoulder blades back and together. And then protract. Slide them out and around. Again, we're just feeling the directions that the shoulder blades can actually move here. And keep moving through it. Really thinking about the latissimus dorsi, those big back muscles, as you go into the retraction. You're squeezing from the hip all the way up to the armpit. And then your serratus muscles, right underneath the armpit, as you protract and push the scapula apart. Let's do one more. Retract, protract, and come back to a neutral position. Again, you want to feel that the shoulder is plugged into that armpit, and that's going to give you better access to your core. All right, so Kat, go ahead and take your transfer to the mat here. And while we do that, we are going to start in a supine position. So you're going to be facing up towards the sky, all right? And while we're getting situated here, I'm just going to talk about your spinal alignment a little bit. So for my PR1 athletes, I highly recommend bringing a pillow down to the ground with you, something that you can put underneath your knees, all right, just to make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of that support in that position, all right? And while Kat gets situated, I'm gonna just come to a lying position and let's talk about our neutral spine here for a second, all right? So again, for my PR1 or PR2 athletes as well, A foam roller is absolutely fabulous, but a pillow or rolled up towel will be really good as well. And if you can just get that situated underneath your knees, that's just going to give you a little bit better support in this supine position, okay? So, neutral spinal alignment. While you're just lying here, you can feel that you should be in your neutral spine. That's just kind of your resting position. So you have a little bit of space underneath your low back, your shoulder blades are connected to the mat, and then you have space in your cervical spine or your neck, all right? And so while we go through these movements, we want to do our best to maintain a neutral spine where we are stable, okay? So we're going to be doing some flexion through the cervical spine, but trying to maintain stability in the lumbar spine, okay? So just stay mindful of trying to keep that alignment and relying on your breath to drive the movement. Now, throughout these exercises, we're going to be focusing on core and shoulders, all right? And so I'm going to be cueing an inhale through the nose and then exhaling through the mouth, all right? And regardless of the exercise, I want you to think about that exhale being like you're deflating a balloon, all right? And so while you're deflating that diaphragm, it's actually closing up the space in that abdominal cavity, and it's giving you better access to those abdominals, all right? So remember, we're going to inhale through the nose, we'll exhale through the mouth, and we're trying to maintain stability in the parts of the body that we're not actively moving. All right. All right, Kat, you ready to roll?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous. All right, so from this position, what we're going to start with is our chest lift, which is a foundational abdominal movement. All right, so if you are a PR3 athlete, you can feel free to take this from a tabletop position with your legs at a 90-degree angle. All right, everyone is going to place their hands behind their head. All right, elbows stay nice and wide. All right, keep about a grapefruit space for between your chin and your chest. And on an exhale, you're going to drive the air out, and you're just going to lift as much of the head, neck, and shoulders off mat as you can, engaging through the upper abdominals. And then on an inhale, you're going to lower back down, all right? So it's exhale, blow the air out and lift. And then inhale, return to the mat, all right? Exhale, blow the air out and lift. You're relying on that top set of abdominals to get that little removal of the air and space, and then inhale, lift. Let's do 5 more. Exhale, blow it out. Inhale, bring it down with control. Keep those elbows wide as you exhale, blow it out. And inhale, lower it back down. 3 more. Exhale, keep the space in between the chin and the chest. Gaze should be at about the opposite corner of your ceiling. And then lower it back down. Exhale. Inhale, control. Last time. Exhale, lift. And inhale, bring it back down. All right. So we should be feeling the top of the abs starting to warm up there, all right? For our next one, I'm gonna have you take your left arm and place it palm down on the floor beside you. This is just gonna give you a little bit of an anchor point, and we're gonna work into those obliques a little bit. So right hand stays behind the head, and you're gonna start the same way. You're gonna exhale, lift the chest, and then you're gonna rotate towards the opposite side. And then bring it back to center and lower it back down. So it's exhale, lift, rotate. You're thinking armpit towards your opposite hip bone. Bring it back to center and lower it back down. All right? For my PR3 athletes, feel free to take those legs up to tabletop. And then as you lift, rotate, extend the opposite leg, and then bring it back to center and down. Exhale, lift, rotate, center, and down. Again, let's do 3 more. As you rotate, try to keep as much of the torso as you have lifted the entire time. So if that's just to here, that's totally fine, but try to keep that same lift during the rotation. So we're trying to find it from the side of the body here. Exhale, lift, rotate, center, and down. Last time. Exhale up, rotate, center, and lower. All right, let's switch out the sides. Right arm is going to come down here. Left hand comes behind the head, and we lift, rotate to the opposite direction, center, and down. All right, let's keep going. As we're moving through here, all right, for my PR2 and PR3 athletes, try to keep that neutral spine from the low back, all right? So the tendency here, if you have the sensation, is to start tucking the hips under to flatten the back. Try to keep that space and keep the length through the spine, even as we're shortening in that thoracic space, all right? Exhale, lift, rotate, center, and lower, all right? If you want to add those legs in, it's lift, extend, opposite leg, center, and down. Let's do 2 more. Lift, rotate, center, and lower. Last time. Really use that breath to drive the movement. We're creating less space in the abs and lower. Oh, nice job. All right, we have a couple more things here. I'm going to have you grab your weights for our next series. All right. Salted peanuts. Get creative with your movements here. All right, now for this next series, it's going to be a shoulder series. Now, if you want to add in an abdominal challenge, you can keep your flexion that we just worked on the whole time. All right. I'm going to start off with no flexion just to give you guys an idea of what it'll look like. So reach your hands with your weights directly above your armpits, okay? So fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling, all right? Now think about that depression. So pull the shoulders down towards the hips a little bit and a little bit of retraction. So your shoulder blades are flat, flat, flat on the mat here, okay? Now as you exhale, you're going to bring your fingertips down towards your hips, and then you're going to inhale, lift them back up to center, okay? So it's exhale, pull from the armpits, lengthen the fingertips down towards the heels, and then inhale, float the hands back up. Exhale, keep that connection to the abdominals, and then inhale, lift. We're looking for that tension in those big serratus muscles. So you're feeling the serratus, those nice muscles right underneath the armpits, helping to pull the hands down, right? We're not just reaching in an arc, we're also reaching towards the opposite edge of your mat as you make your way down. All right, ready for a challenge. On this next one, as you bring the fingertips down, you're gonna lift head, neck, and shoulders as much as you can into that thoracic flexion. And then we inhale, return everything down. Exhale, press, lift again. Use the air to help drive the space out between the ribs. Inhale, control the lift. Exhale, press down. And inhale to lift. On this next one, you're going to add a challenge. We're going to exhale, press, and lift. Now, if you can, keep the lift, and we're going to lift just the arms up. And then exhale, press them back down. Again, if my PR3 athletes, feel free to bring the legs up into tabletop for an extra challenge. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, press. Try to keep that upper body as stable as you can. Inhale, lift. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, press. Check in, make sure you have space in that chin. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale, press. And release everything down to the ground. Whew. All right, we're gonna do another alteration of that one. All right, so for this one, go ahead and bring your hands down towards your hips to start, okay? And we're gonna flip our palms so that they're facing our hip bones, okay? So on this one, we're gonna make a snow angel. So lift the weights off the ground, and we're going to inhale, open out to shoulder height, just to shoulder height. If you feel that your shoulders start creeping up towards your ears, only take it to where you can keep it in control, all right? If that's at a 45-degree angle, that's totally okay, all right? And then we're gonna exhale, close it back up to the hips. So it's inhale, open, making your wings, and then exhale, close it back up. Try to keep the top of your shirt ironed out this whole time. And exhale, close to the hips. Again, as you're reaching out, you're not just making the arc, you're reaching out as far as you can. As you exhale towards your hips, reach towards your heels, all right? To be a very active movement. Inhale, open, and exhale, close. All right, on this next one, inhale, open. If you want that added challenge, we're gonna exhale, lift the chest. Again, drop those shoulders. Inhale, everything returns, open the arms. Exhale, close towards your hips, lift head, neck, and shoulders, pull those abs in. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Drive those fingers towards your heels. Last 2. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. That's it. Last time. All right, but you guys know it's coming. On this one, as you exhale, close, all right? Hold this flexion if you can stand it, all right? So keep the shoulders lifted. PR3 athletes, feel free to take those legs to tabletop or out at a 45-degree angle. And we're gonna inhale, stabilize the upper body, exhale, close. If you wanna add your legs in, open the legs as well, and then close everything right back up. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, squeeze from the armpits. Inhale, open. And exhale, squeeze. Make sure you're keeping those collarbones open. Nice, strong breath. Every time you exhale, send it all the way down. Last time. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And release your hands and arms. All right, we're gonna keep going with our arm circles here, okay? So again, focus here is on the range of motion in the joint, okay? So hands can come up towards the sky here. We're starting by pressing our hands towards our hips, flipping the palms, opening out to the side, and then bringing the hands back to the starting position, all right? Now, as we move through this, all right, flip palms, open, and close. Just try to pay attention a little bit to the shape of your rib cage, all right? Particularly as you flip it open, the ribs are gonna wanna pop, all right? So try to keep that core engagement and keep that neutral spinal alignment throughout. Let's do 2 more in this direction. Flip palms, make your wings, close it back up. Exhale as you press down and flip. Inhale, open. Exhale, bring it back together. All right, we're gonna switch directions, okay? So this time, we're going to exhale, open out, squeeze the palms to the hips, and then bring it back through center, okay? So it's out to the side. Exhale, squeeze the shape closed. And then inhale, bring it back through your midline, all right? Again, try to keep the shoulder blades, the rib cage, the pelvis, all in a nice neutral alignment here. We're just focusing on how that ball and socket joint rotates in the shoulder joint itself. Only bringing the hands up to that level with your armpit. We don't want to go past. That's going to definitely pop that rib cage. And let's wrap with 2 more. Come on up. Open out. Squeeze close. Still think about the length through the arm. So you're reaching in each direction as far as you can. Like you're trying to graze each edge of the circle with your fingertips. All right, nice work. All right, you can go ahead and release your weights to the side. Grab yourself a band, okay? My bands did not come in time, so I am going to be demonstrating with my fake band, all right? Put your hands on your band, one outside of the other, all right? You're going to be in a closed grip, and we're starting in that armpit line again, okay? So knuckles up towards the ceiling, all right? And we're going to do a banded pull apart here. So as you exhale, pull the band apart until it almost touches your chest and your fists go out to the opposite sides. And then you're going to inhale, bring it back together. Exhale, pull apart. And then inhale, draw it back together. You should feel those shoulder blades moving. So as you exhale, they retract, they come together. And then as you inhale, you're controlling the elasticity and they retract a little. You come back to that nice flat back position. Let's go. Exhale, pull apart. Still think about that connection from the armpit to the hip. And then inhale, control, bring it back to center. Let's go 3 more. Exhale, pull apart. Inhale, draw back to center. 2 more. As you pull, try to keep a neutral wrist. So we're not letting that band pull the wrist out of alignment. You keep a nice straight line from fist to the shoulder. Last time, open it up. Really think about that nice rolled back collarbone and then draw it back to center. All right, for our next one, we're going to keep this same hand positioning. I want you to put just a little bit of external pressure into the band so that you're engaged through the side of the shoulder, okay? So we're not opening, you're just pressing enough into that band that you feel like it wants to snap you back here, all right? And then as we exhale, we are gonna come up and over the head. Again, stop before you start to feel yourself kind of pop out of alignment like this, okay? So it doesn't need to be completely up and overhead. You're just exhaling to a point where you feel that there's a stretch in your shoulder, and then inhale, draw it back to center, all right? Let's do about 8 of these, all right? As we come through, you wanna keep that idea of the rib connection. So as you bring your hands overhead, your ribs want to make space for your shoulders to not do the work, all right? So try to keep that exhale in place. So as you bring the hands over the head, you're really drawing that upper set of abdominals down towards the mat. And then you're drawing the hands back up, keeping that same stabilization. Let's do 4 more. Exhale, bring it back. And as you do this, you may notice that maybe your first couple, you're only able to get back, 60 degrees. And that's okay. See if the body will work into that rotation a little bit as you work through your sets. Check in, make sure you still have a little bit of external pressure against that band. And we'll do our last one here. Shoulder blades stay wide on the body as you bring the hands back. And then inhale, drop back to center. All right, for our next one, we're gonna go with a flip grip. So take your left hand, and instead of having both palms facing down, your left palm is gonna face up, okay? Now take your right hand down towards your hip and just anchor it there, okay? Or towards your thigh even, all right? Left arm is gonna stay straight. and you're going to exhale, and you're going to point your thumb 45 degrees away from your body, okay? So think about, we did our snow angels, which were out to the side. We did our overhead lifts just now, which were straight up. You want to be going to the midpoint between those two, okay? So it's like drawing a big X across your body. And then you inhale, come back to center. Exhale, draw the thumb to that 45-degree angle, and then inhale, come back to center, all right? Again, as you're doing this, just feel where your shoulder blade is moving, because we want to have that control over how the scapula is gliding around your rib cage. And again, maybe you don't get all the way to the ground, and that is totally okay. You want to keep that squareness in the rib cage. You don't want to let your body start rolling towards the side. So as you exhale, think about drawing those ribs together, blowing that balloon out, and then inhale, bring it back to center. Let's do 3 more. Exhale, draw it across, open the chest. Inhale, back to center. I like this one because as you exhale, you're working against that resistance, but because you have the band there, you also enjoy a little stretch. And let's do 1 more. Exhale, draw it across. Inhale, back to center. And then we're going to switch our grip. So left palm is going to face down again. Right palm is going to face up. This time the left hand anchors down at that hip. I like to point my thumb up just so I know where I'm going. And then as you exhale, pull that band apart and draw it to your 45-degree angle. And then inhale, bring it back to center. All right. Now this is one of those angles that as rowers you might be thinking, this is not a plane that my shoulder moves in. And that's absolutely correct. But in order to make sure that your shoulder doesn't move in planes that you don't want them to, you have to work the stabilizers in those local areas. All right. So you really want to make sure that you have the support, fronts, sides, backs of that shoulder, so that when you want, so that your shoulder does move in the direction you want it to. And let's do 3 more. Check in for me here. As you exhale, your shoulders are nice and square to that ceiling in front of you. Last 2. Blow the air out. And final 1. Nice work. All right, go ahead and set that band off to the side. That was our supine work. All right, we're gonna go ahead and flip over into a prone position. So you're gonna take yourself over onto your stomach. All right, now for this part, I'd like for that foam roller, towel, block, whatever you're using to go underneath your hips, okay? Because we're gonna be doing some plank variations, and I like to have that support from the foam roller there underneath the hip bone, okay? Just to avoid putting any extra pressure on those lumbar spines, all right? Now here, what we're gonna do is I want you guys, we're gonna do our shoulder protraction and retraction here just to practice that same movement because it's so important. So make sure your elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. The tendency is to be out in front a little bit here. So make sure the elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Neck is long, okay? So we don't want to be cranking it up to look in front of us or looking down at our belly button, all right? Gaze should be approximately in front of those knuckles, all right? Now again, let's practice that shoulder retraction. So draw the shoulder blades together. Your chest is going to become closer to the floor. And then as you exhale, press the elbows into the mat and make those shoulder blades nice and wide, right? They're sliding out and around the rib cage. So it's inhale, shoulders come together, and then exhale, press around, right? I kind of think about your rib cage as a barrel shape, and then as you retract, it's sliding towards the back of the barrel, and then as you protract, You're coming out to the sides, right? It's not just separating, coming out and around to the sides of that barrel. Let's do 3 more, right? As much of your abdominals as you can, you're pulling them up and in. We don't want to let that connection that we established with those chest lifts go. Let's do our final 2, and as you protract here, also think about just a little depression. Think about that connection from the armpit towards the hip. Last one. All right, and on this next one, you're just gonna hold. So this is your plank position, all right? So keep that protraction, keep that connection from the armpit to the hip. You're pulling your abs up towards the back of the spine, neck is long, and every exhale, think about deepening that connection between the abdominal fibers. So you're squeezing them deeper and deeper in, keeping the elbows holding the mat in place. Remember, for my PR3 athletes, feel free to take this into a full plank with your toes tucked under, all right? And we're looking for a long line from either the tailbone to the head or the heel to the head. Let's hold for 2 more breaths. Big exhale here. Last one. And you can release. You can take a little break with your head down on your hands here. Lots of work for the shoulders. And I want you guys to really start thinking about the connection from your shoulders to your core, right? Because that's really where we are going to get a little faster. All right. So for our next one, we're going to advance that plank a little bit, okay? So go ahead and find your protracted shoulders, all right? Really think about pulling in from the abdominals. Neck is long, all right? And all you're gonna do is I want you to see if you can lift the elbows off slightly and then replace the elbows back down, right? So it's just a little lift as you exhale and then drop the elbows back down. Really firing all the muscles from the armpit that kind of surrounds that top rib cage, all right? Should feel those shoulder stabilizers working like crazy here. And we're gonna do 3 more like that, all right? For my PR3 athletes, you can take this one from your hands and we can do a plank reach out, all right? Last 2. Last one. Little lift of those elbows. Control it back down. And release. Take a break there. All right. If you're on something pretty bulky like the foam roller, I'm going to have you ditch it here. So we're going to take it down to a full prone position for a little bit more shoulder mobility work. All right, so we're going to do a prone shoulder car. All right, car is just a controlled articular rotation. All right, so we're working, again, the shoulder in all of the facets of its movement here. Okay, I'm going to start with my right hand. So my left hand is going to make a little pillow for my head here. My right arm is going to reach out in front to start with the palm down. Okay, now as I sweep out to the side, I'm going to keep my palm down until I reach shoulder level. Then flip the palm, keep it at the same height, bring it back behind the back as high as you can without letting the front of the shoulder sag down, okay? So keep that elbow lifted and back, all right? As far as you can go. Now, here, make sure that elbow is high. You're going to lift the hand off the back first, then open it out to the side, flip the palm, and bring it back to center. All right, let's go again. So it's open out to the side, flip the palm, reach the thumb up the spine, Keep the elbow high in the front of the shoulder back. Lift off the back. Open it back out. Rotate and center. We're going to do 3 more. Try to keep the same spacing between the hand and the ground the entire time. All right? That little lift off, just make sure that you're not letting the front of the humerus sink down towards the mat. All right, last 2. Again, this is a nice mobility exercise because you're having that shoulder rotate in every direction, but it's also one of those sneaky stabilizers, right, that you really have to make sure it works. Woo, yeah, last time. Sweep it out to the side, flip the palm up, take it up the back, lift off first, and then return the way you came. All right, nice stuff. All right, we're gonna switch out, same thing on the opposite side. So right hand is gonna make your pillow here. Take the head down, left arm reaches out in front of you like Superman. Lift off the ground, and then reach it out to the side. Flip the palm up, and then reach it up your back. All right, same thing we talked about with the banded pull overs, is you may not get that high on your first pass, and that is a-okay, right? We're just wanting to feel where the body is naturally moving here, and then as you work through the range of motion, maybe you'll get a little higher on the next couple, right? But we're not forcing it. Keep the head of that shoulder elevated the whole time. And we're gonna do 2 more. Come out to the side, flip, and draw it up the back. Lift, sweep, flip, and return. All right, last one. And again, the shoulder blade is moving here. As you bring it back behind the back, you have a little retraction. And then as you sweep it out to the side and around, you should feel it squeeze down towards your armpit. Oh, go ahead and release there. All right, we're gonna stay in the same position, but take both your hands, head is resting on the mat, on your forehead. Both hands are gonna come behind your head here, all right? And we're gonna start by lifting both elbows off and then extending both arms out to a wide position, and then draw the arms back in and draw it down, all right? So it's a lift, shoulder blades retract. As you extend, try to depress the shoulders so they don't turn into a decapitating force. Draw the hands back and then release. Whew. Should be firing a lot of those muscles and stabilizers around the shoulder blade. Drop back in and come down. We're going to do 3 more. Exhale up. Hands come out. Back to the head. Elbows stay high. And then release to the ground. Last 2. Exhale up. Shoulders stay down the back as you extend. Draw the hands in. And then release. Last time. Exhale up. Inhale, extend. YMCA. Shave the head off. And then draw it down. Whew, nice job. All right, take a quick break here because we are going to do something in that same vein, which is going to require a lot of the same stabilizers. All right, so these are going to be our prone, eyes, Ys, and Ts. All right, so we're going to start with our Ts because they require the least mobility. All right, so bring your hands out to a T position. All right, so you are in, if I looked at you from a aerial view, you would look like a T, a lowercase t. All right, draw the shoulders down the back, and then as you exhale, you're just going to lift up to shoulder height then lower back down to the ground. Exhale, lift, and then lower back down. We're doing 8 here. Exhale, lift and squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze, and inhale, release. All right. Again, I want you to think about the origin of this movement. Keep on going with your squeeze up and release. The origin of this movement is happening from the shoulder blades. All right. So we're not lifting our hands or our elbows, right? We're squeezing, and because the shoulder blades are moving together, the byproduct of that is that the hands become weightless and lift up. I think we have 3 more. Exhale, squeeze up, trying to feel it on that little inside edge of your wingtip on the shoulder blade. Last 2. Final 1. And release. Whew, take a little break there. Wiggle those shoulders out. All right, for our next one, we're gonna do our Ys, which we just did in that elbow lift position. All right, but this time we're gonna go thumbs up. All right, it's just gonna give us a little external rotation, which I like as we start to narrow the positioning. All right, so we're out at a 45-degree angle. I'm going thumbs up. All right, and again, this time we're not just retracting, we're also depressing the shoulder blades a little bit. Okay, go ahead and exhale, squeeze down and back to lift, and then release. These are really small movements. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. So you're just thinking, like enough space for a few sheets of paper. A small paperback book. Doing our best to move from the back, all right? Really easy to just start kind of yanking on our hands, all right? Engage that long line from the shoulder girdle all the way to the fingertips. We've got 3 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. Last 2. And last 1. All right, next one is gonna be our eyes, all right? These ones do require a fair amount of mobility. So if they don't feel good for you right now, feel free to just do another set of your Ys instead. All right, so take it down, head is resting on the mat, all right? Fingers are out in front of you, again, Superman position. And as you exhale, draw the shoulders down and back again, and lift slightly. Drop back down, all right? As we lift, again, try to feel it from the top of the shoulder blade all the way down to that little wingtip. Even though we're working the back body, it is going to help you if as you exhale, you draw those top abdominals in to support from the front as well. Let's do 3 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, control the lower. Last 2. And final 1. Oh, nice job. Those ones are definitely requiring a fair amount of mobility in those shoulders. All right. Oh, all right. Well, I think we are just about done. So I'm just going to show you guys one of my favorite pec stretches before we go. This one is best done seated. So once you have finished, doing a transfer back to your chair, this is a nice one to do just to make sure that you're setting your posture for the rest of the day, which is just hands behind the head. All right. And while you're here, I want you to think about pushing your head back into your hands, right? Otherwise, what happens is we end up just engaging in that posture that we spend so much of our day in anyway. So really think about pushing the head back into the hands, still keeping your abdominal engagement. And then you just want to try to draw the elbows away from your midline as far as you can. And if it feels good, you can always add a little rotation in here. That'll get you just a little bit more into one side or the other. All right. And that will wrap up our first session. If you guys have any questions about anything, feel free to post on social media. We will be checking and making sure that we're responding to any specific questions you have. So thanks for coming, and hope to see you for another session soon.